And good evening. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highliner Activity Network on this Wednesday night as spring sports seasons are slowly but surely getting going. Winter sports seasons are just about wrapped up. A couple of state tournaments coming up this weekend. The Division B and the Division A. And of course, Division A going on at Fargo, and Valley City is in the state tournament. We're joined by Coach Jim McDaniel. Coach, how you doing?
Really good tonight. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Ready to go now.
Yeah. It's getting real exciting right now. Taking off tomorrow morning for Fargo, so had our last practice tonight. So only 16 teams practicing on a Wednesday and this time of March, and 8 with B and 8 with A, and we get to be one of them. So it's pretty special.
What is, at this time of year, regardless of who your opponent's going to be in the first round of the playoffs, you're not reinventing the wheel, are you? You're just more fine-tuning what you have?
Yeah, practice has been pretty loose. Guys have been pretty excited. There's nothing new that we can add in or anything like that. Just trying to stay in shape, trying to keep our shooting in as best we can, and all that kind of stuff. So some of the same boring drills we do at the start of practice, we're still doing, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we just got to stay active and stay focused. And it's loose just because the guys are excited, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the community. We got spaghetti supper tonight, and so. Yeah, I wish things were a little focused, but how could they be? They're bound to be excited. So you got
a good thing.
Yeah, you got to let them go. So
yeah, boys got to be boys.
That's right.
Well, let's go back to that state qualifying game against Thompson at the Shack, an overtime win. Down 3 with I think about 48 seconds to go or something like that.
Yeah, I think it might have been 27.
27.
Yeah,
actually, because it was it was 3. You're down 3 twice.
Yeah.
In that final minute. What was your message? I think you guys get a timeout. What are you saying to these guys? Going, hey, this is not over.
No, and I was so proud of those guys of how they finished the game. They did everything right that needed to be done. They haven't been in those situations on a big game, big stage like that before, and for them to finish how they did, I said, let's just not get in a hurry. We don't have to. We can come down and get a bucket quick. I'm going to call a timeout. And luckily we had 2 timeouts, so we could do that twice. And it ended up where they miss a free throw. We're now down by 2, and Carson comes down and puts in a pretty nice bucket to tie it up so we could push it to overtime.
In that overtime, and you mentioned this to me afterwards, pressure-packed free throws, and it was Talon, Carson, and Zach were the 3 guys who went to the line. Yep. 14 of 17, and 3 seniors.
Yep.
But what does that mean for just what they have in their mindset to do that in the overtime that type of situation?
Again, they haven't been in that situation, shooting that many free throws, and Thompson could never cut the gap. They'd go down and score, then they'd foul us. I thought they managed the game as well as you could manage the game to give themselves a shot. The problem was we made every free throw. We were 14 of 17, but one of those missed free throws, we got an offensive board. So those type of things that they did, making those free throws, before you know it, I mean, it was a long 40 seconds at the end of that game because they just extended the game so long, but they never could cut into the lead because those guys just shot the lights out from the line.
And those 3 in particular, I mean, it seems like free throws have been a good part of your game. You have Sikora, I think, 85% or roughly. And I think the other 2 are around 65, 70. But you had 3 guys that are good at the line. So you had to be feeling pretty good. And Zach, as a senior, it looked like, give me the ball. I'm the one who wanted to go to the free throw line.
Well, and we have a free throw game free throw challenge game we do every day at practice. And they're always fighting to be the top guy of that. And Zach, through the season, he knows he's our highest free throw shooter, percent shooter, and the other guys do too. We had a technical, there was a technical the one night, and Zach shot him, and I mean, they didn't even have to ask me. The guys knew Zach was already walking to the line before because, he wanted the ball in his hands because he's our best free throw percent shooter. So, and the guys recognize that. So they want it in his hands too. And so, it was, they managed the game. When Thompson did such a great job trying to get them a chance and extending the game, our guys did just as good a job or better doing what we needed to do so they could never catch us. Yeah.
Now it's Devil's Lake, a team you're familiar with, but I think you and I talked about this, and I've been saying this to people for the last 3-4 days. An entirely different crew that you have in your locker room from December 22nd to now than what Devil's Lake is going to see.
Yeah.
As far as the way you have.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that was our third game of the year when we played them down there. I don't think we played very well. We had more. I talked some statistics with the guys. We had 23 turnovers that game. We average under 13. I can't remember the number, but we averaged somewhere around 13. So that's 10 more turnovers. There were some other statistics that we shot 21% from the three-point line. Normally average through the whole season we're shooting 34, something like. So there was a bunch of stats that were terrible in that game compared to our average. Yeah, we're a different team. I think our defense is better. We have way more confidence than we did, especially after the regional tournament. So, yeah, let's battle and hopefully we keep it close and find a way to win. I'm not expecting a game like we had way back in December where they beat us by, I think it ended up 27 or something like that. So, should be fun.
And you are more worried about what the Valley City Highlanders doing. You're not going to be so much concerned with what the Firebirds are doing.
No. Yeah, I mean, we've Coach Lentz and I have watched quite a bit of video as we finish up the season, going with every game of the regional and now here at state, just to pick up a few tendencies and things like that. But yeah, we need to keep our turnovers down, hit the boards, do our job on defense, and then hopefully we shoot the ball well.
Do you ever say, or have you said, hey, the pressure's more on them if there is any pressure because they've got the number 2 next to their name and not so much us? Just go out, have fun, play ball, and do whatever, or is that not part of your pregame?
I probably said that. I think there's more pressure on them than there is on us. We're more of a surprise team, more of a Cinderella team, so let's use that to our advantage. I think if we can keep the game close, the pressure mounts on them. I'm sure they're thinking they should blow us out. And if it doesn't work that way, then all of a sudden the pressure just keeps mounting and getting more pressure as the game goes on. They also know in the back of their head that they didn't have an easy answer getting a championship win in Region 1 against Thompson. I think it ended up a 9-point win for them, but they had to work the entire game to get that. And then, they know in the back of their mind that, well, Valley City just beat Thompson. And also we beat Castleton, in that third place game. And Devil's Lake, they beat Castleton not that far back into the season, but that was only a 7 or a 9-point game. So, yeah, I expect different things than what we did back in December.
Bottom line, it's going to be a fun atmosphere and a fun time for the next 3 days for you guys.
Yeah, we got three games for sure, and yeah, today was officially our last practice. We had a little fun at the end with the seniors, and to be one of these 8 teams playing in this tournament, couldn't be happier for these guys to get to be a part of it.
Well, I know you got a dinner to get to, Jim, but I appreciate you stopping by and chatting with us. Congratulations on thus far, and we look forward to seeing you at the Dome here tomorrow.
Should be fun. Everybody get to the Dome and cheer us on.
Shamrock, I think, is the color, so I got to wear some of my Irish stuff too.
Yeah, I think the kids are going. I think the kids are going all green, but I'm going to guess there's going to be a lot of parents in the Highliner blue. So
that works for me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coach Jim McDonald joining us from the Highliners of boys basketball. Again, they play at 1 o'clock tomorrow against Devils Lake at the Fargo Dome. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highliner Activity Network.
Yeah.
Back here at Coach's Corner in the Highlander Activity Network, and we are just talking. Spring sports are getting underway, and we have track and field coach Trevor Becklar joining us. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well, actually. Really enjoying the I don't know, spring-ish weather, sort of.
Quote, unquote.
Right? Yeah. We've had some good days.
Though, right?
Yeah, we have been outside actually a couple of days. We also, our first practice ever in my coaching, and I even reached back to a few coaches from years ago. Never been outside on the first day for practice. So that was really awesome to set that little piece of history for us.
Well, I know you had a practice tournament or practice meet in Jamestown here over the weekend. How did things go there?
Yeah, no, it went very well, actually. It's always a great opportunity for kids to kind of get the atmosphere and see what it's like at a track and field meet that have never been out before. And it's a great chance for those kids to put on those, the new spikes for the season, or just try some different events. There's always some surprises, and we had a few of those at that meet, which is really nice to see some of these young kids perform. And it was a great experience, actually. It's really good. It's pretty laid back. It's just a casual, nonchalant, all right, let's get some kids into this event. Let's do this. So it was really nice.
How are the numbers this year? It looks like maybe mid-60s,
we're at just over about 83 or 84 actually registered out for the sport right now. That's 7 through 12, which is really nice. That's our biggest group. We took a picture the other day in the North Gym, and we needed more space. So, but it's great. And so once we get all those junior high kids, and we have the kids transitioning from still some boys basketball players that will be out, and we've got a few kids finishing gymnastics. There's always something going on, speech and everything. So when we have the whole team, it'll be really nice.
Where's your strength? What would be a strength if you can? I know it's tough to do that right now. It's been 3 weeks, but do you see some place where you got some?
Well, we have some returning, athletes. I think that are going to be our strength in our distance kids. Through that cross country season that you saw, returning, and obviously Reagan's going to be our front runner up there, right? And followed by several other the girls. But, I think they're going to do well in those races with the girls on the distance side. We have those returning throwers that'll be nice, that qualified. And so getting them back in will be nice again. It's nice to have some younger teams, so, you can see that again. And we'll have Zach Sikora returning again. So he was out for a year with his injury, and so he was a great thrower as well. So I see those kids doing pretty well, and we've still got some experience in the sprints as, our girls, younger girls who made the 4x1 relay at state last year, they're returning again, so that's nice. And we've got a couple of additions with like Morgan Larson, who ran well in Jamestown, so it's nice to have her. She's pretty quick. And but yeah, and even on the boys' side too with those sprints, with Parker, I think he's going to do pretty well. He's been running very well and doing some other meets in the off season, so that's nice.
Good mixture of old and young as far as your age.
Yeah. See, a little light on the seniors, but that's been pretty common throughout our whole. My whole career, it seems like, with that group coming up from junior high all the way through. A lot of freshmen and sophomores, which is really nice, and so, and then some juniors mixed in there.
What you got a meet now this weekend. Normally, I think it's been the Copper invite, but you're going up to Grand Forks. Yeah, change of pace a little bit. Well, I was thinking we originally had both of them scheduled because I was thinking with the numbers we had that we were looking at splitting our squad, and going 2 different places. But with the kids traveling to basketball and it being spring break and so many things going on anyhow, but so we're just taking one bus up to UND. It'll be it's a pretty big meet, but going up there is they have so much space, a 300-meter track and the nice turf infield. People can lay out. Concordia is nice, but it's tight in there. It's squished. It is a tight fit in there.
It'll be a change of pace for us, and it's really nice for those kids just to get out there and be able to, compete against some other kids. So.
And then I think it's the indoor state meet is the following weekend, isn't it? The 22nd.
Yeah. So they have NDSU hosts what they call the Class A indoor, and so that's kind of like your mini state, for the indoor season, and I think. That's going to be a good experience for a lot of kids. We usually only take a handful, maybe 10 to 15 kids to that meet, the ones that are ready and are experienced. And then what's really nice is the next day we turn around and go back to NDSU with basically all because they run a big JV meet. And so, it's you basically leave, get home, go to bed, get up, and then go right back again. Because the Class B comes in Saturday, and so we have to be out of there by noon. So we get going at 8 in the morning.
You like those early mornings, though.
You know, it's kind of nice. You get in, you get out, you know you're done. It doesn't matter where the meet's at. We got to go. So, you know, where it doesn't, hey, are we done in 2 hours, 3 hours? Who knows?
Works for me.
Yeah, right. But
any expectations for this team, Trevor, or goals set?
you know, we've been talking about it. We haven't said anything yet as a team. We're just in that feeling out, you know, stage right now. Let's see how things are going. We got a couple indoor meets to see where kind of people are at, and then we'll start kind of gearing things down and trying to get people, you know, where they need to be. The outdoor season is where it counts. And so, yeah, our goal obviously will be to qualify kids for state. And I think we should have a pretty good group. We took a good group last year. We're looking probably about maybe 10 to 15 kids again, which is about average for us. So
Let's see if we can get a little higher.
you know, that would be. There is. You know, a lot of it has to, you know, depend on it's relays, it's other things.
Yeah.
You know, kids staying healthy, obviously. Injuries tend to kind of get us toward the end of the season sometimes, unfortunately. But yeah, it would be nice to take 20, 25. Let's get a few more of those rooms, right? Yeah, stretch the budget a little bit.
Exactly. Make them work. Make our athletic director go,
There
how am I
you
gonna do
go.
this?
Yeah, we'll make it work. My in-laws live there. Maybe we can house some kids or
There
something.
you go. Now you're
Yeah,
set.
yeah,
Now
yeah,
you're
right.
set to go. Well,
Got
Trevor,
it.
appreciate it. Just
Yeah,
getting
no problem.
started here.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll be chatting as we get down the road. Well, obviously we're going to be chatting as we get going here, but
Absolutely.
we're underway.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great year, and the weather holds out. We should have a good season. So,
Perfect. Trevor,
All right.
thanks much.
thank you.
You bet. Coach Trevor Backler joining us from the Highlander boys and girls track. We'll be back talk baseball. We'll have that here as Coach's Corner continues from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. And back here on Coach's Corner and the Highlander Activity Network. And again, the spring sports season underway. Practice hasn't quite started yet, but it's never too early to talk baseball. And Coach Soderholm joining us from the Highlander baseball. It's never too early to talk baseball, is it, Coach?
You can talk baseball year round.
Well, you had the practice starts here on Monday, I believe, coming up here. So you're not too far out from getting the boys on the field. You'll be more likely outside right away.
Yeah, that's the plan. Starting outside first week. You know, it's a couple years ago we got outside the first week, and then we got hit with snow. So, you know, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that we can start on opening day this year outside and get a game in on opening day. That's the plan.
And I know that a lot of the boys on Sundays have been into the cage. I think they've had open gym and in the cage over the North Gym. I guess really is obviously until you get the guys on the field, it's hard to see what you have. But what do you expect out of this team here this year?
From what I've seen and knowing these kids is we're going to be a young team. You know, that's just the fact of the matter. We have a lot of good athletes. You know, we don't have too many big burly guys. It's a lot more fast, you know, quick, fast twitch kind of guys. That's kind of what I've seen, and you know, that's a good thing. It's good to be athletic. You know, it's easier to move people around and put them in different awkward scenarios. They usually can find their own way pretty fast.
You'll get, you know, Ethan Miller will be back. He was your shortstop a couple of years ago, and a pitcher. So it's like getting that extra arm in the lineup, and I'm sure he's ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's our leadoff hitter, probably our best pitcher, our shortstop. You know, not having that hurts. You know, he's all EDC as a sophomore. Like that's a big thing. You know, it's been a year, but I'm sure he's just picking up right as he left off. He's a great athlete, and it shows.
You talk about a young team, but really, knowing who some of those young guys are, you got a lot of talent with those younger guys too. They're really going to be able to help the team. You know, we saw what they did last year with some of the Babe Ruth guys that went to state. So how was that experience that they did that and be able to parlay that into this year?
Yeah, it's always a good thing when you're playing in those bigger games. You know, because once you've done it, it just opens the door for everything. Now, all you got to do, that's kind of what you say, is you just got to break the seal once, and then it's kind of, it comes a lot easier, a lot of things like that. So they got a lot of good experience last summer playing in big games, playing in a state tournament, winning their region. That stuff matters. They had a good 15-year-old class who are hopefully going to contribute a lot for us, and we got some younger 8th and 9th graders that they'll definitely be helping us out along the way.
It starts on the hill. How are we doing on arms?
Oh, good. You can never have enough. That's the fact of the matter. But we have, like I said, we have a lot of athletes. So we got a few solid arms. A lot of people that pitched high leverage innings last spring and last summer for the Legion team. We got, and then it helps when you're getting your ace back. That's always a good thing. But we'll have Ethan Miller, Carver Peterson. Those are probably going to be our 1-2. Will Schwer will pitch here and there. Then we got those rest of those younger guys they'll step in and fill the role of whatever, if it's bullpen or spot start kind of thing.
I know you're going to have, as far as the plate is concerned, you got some guys that can hit the ball and hit it a long way. But is this, with the speed, with the athleticism, this is going to be one you like to maybe move around and get some guys in motion and put some pressure on the defense?
Yeah, no, we'll definitely be trying to steal some bases, that sort of thing, bump for hit here and there, but we can still it doesn't change our offensive philosophy. It's hit the ball hard and hit the ball in the air. That's kind of our goal. Trying to turn doubles into home runs and miss hits into singles or doubles. That's kind of our goal, So we still try to swing the bat hard, and we still try to hit the ball hard, and because good things will happen no matter how big you are.
I think April 2nd, I think, is the first game scheduled. First game on the road, because I think you're home maybe the second week or so once the season gets started here in April. First year with you, get a chance with the new clubhouse too. How about that? Walking into that facility.
That'll be great. It'll be super nice in the spring too, with just storage and stuff, and just having a place to go. In the summer, go in there and cool off. In the spring, we'll go in there and warm up. But that'll be nice. It'll be good to keep guys at the field. They can stay after and hit and go in there and hang out with their teammates, that sort of thing. It'll be really good to have them have that experience and want to be around baseball and be around the field.
Well, I'm sure when we get going here down the road after a few practices, we'll talk about expectations. But you and your coaching staff, do you have anything, expectations or goals that you kind of have in your mind right now?
Well, bottom line, our goal is always to make the EDC tournament. That's our year in and year out expectation. Top 8 teams make it. Once you make it, anything can happen. That's kind of our motto. All we have to do is get in, and then good things will happen. We showed that 2 years ago when we were an 8 seed and beat the 1 seed. That's kind of our team goal. We didn't get there last year. We were a game short, but that's year in and year out. We try to get to the tournament, and then once you get to the tournament, it's try to get the highest seed you can possible. That's kind of what we go off of. So yeah.
It's fun to be talking baseball now, ready to go. And the weather's been cooperative so far, so the guys are going to be able to get outside. But Seth, looking forward to chatting throughout the year with you and getting into that baseball mode here. Getting the first game coming up first week in April. All things going well, so I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll chat again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. That is head coach Seth Soderholm joining us from the Highlander baseball team. Back to wrap things up on Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on the Highlander Activity Network and Coach's Corner on this Wednesday night. Well, coming up on the Highlander Activity Network, we've got Express Wrestling as they are getting ready to wrap up the season. They have their state tournament coming up here next weekend, but this weekend, the 16th, we'll have Express Wrestling here at the Hack, and we'll have that here on the Highlander Activity Network, and that'll get started right away, probably 8 o'clock in the morning, and wrestling will go all day long, and we will have live coverage of the Express Wrestling Tournament coming up here on Monday. And obviously we'll look forward to some baseball games down the road as the spring season gets into full swing, and we'll be talking tennis, track and field, softball, baseball, and also a speech. They're going to be hosting a tournament this weekend here. The Highlander speech team will be hosting a tournament, and they're getting close to their state meet as well. We'll try to get some of those state qualifiers here on the Highlander Activity Network and Coach's Corner. Well, that's going to wrap things up. Don't forget, Highlander boys, 1 o'clock tomorrow at the Fargo Dome against Devils Lake, opening round of the Division A tournament. Again, first time in 24 years that the Highlanders have made it to the state tournament, and the first time in 28 years that the boys and girls have both gone to a state tournament. You got to go back to 96, 97, the last time that both the boys and girls reached a state tournament. So good luck to Coach McDaniel, Coach Lentz, and Coach Goldaddy. That'll be tomorrow, 1 o'clock. The Highlanders are having a watch party here at the Hack. So if you want, come here to the Hack and watch party and enjoy Highlander basketball here tomorrow at 1 o'clock. That's going to wrap things up. Again, I want to thank our coaches tonight, Coach McDaniel, Coach Soderholm from the Highlander baseball team, and Coach Bacalar from track and field. Of course, Jaden Johnson, cameraman and technical director tonight as well. We will be back next week. Another edition of Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network.